Mr. Coggins, thank you again for being here today. It's an honor for somebody from my district to be up, and all of you witnesses have just been opened my eyes to a lot, especially since I do travel through the Loves stations quite regularly in my home state, and going back and forth to see my granddaughter. So thank you all. Mr. Coggins, you have done a great job, and we all know what you've done for us on the coast, providing reliable service for many decades. As the cost of fuel has risen, you've adopted by transferring a portion of your fleet to low-emissions propane fuel buses rather than all-electric. This must have been a challenging decision, especially in more rural areas. Can you talk about some of the steps that you took before finalizing this transfer and how it's impacted your fleet?
Yes, sir. I've been doing this a long time. I've personally been really watching technology evolve for decades, trying to find the right fit for Coast Transit Authority. So we have two issues that we consider at our transit system: the air, the environment, and budget constraints. So we're phasing out all of our diesel because of emissions and the high cost of operating diesel. We have chosen to go with propane short-term in the small and mid-sized vehicles because they are much cleaner. They cost about the same to purchase up front, but the operating cost is much less than a diesel engine bus. Fuel consumption, the cost per mile is much, much lower than diesel, and we get the benefit of lowering emissions. So we have clean air. We're not a non-attainment area, thank goodness. Hopefully we won't be. But we also are looking at EV, full electric buses. Technology is advancing. On the small to mid-sized buses currently, what's on the market is not a fit because of cost and mileage constraints, range. We have those two things. Yes, they're zero emission. If we were in a poor quality area, non-attainment, we would most definitely be looking at full electric EV, but EV is the most expensive solution to lowering emissions. So we think we have found the right mix for our community, and our community does expect us to be running alternative fuel vehicles, but we have cost constraints. We're funded by 5 cities and 3 counties, and because we don't have bad air quality issues, I cannot go to our local governments and ask them to fund EV technology, but at this point in time, it's not a necessity for us. So the funding is just simply not there.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Thank you for that. And the Biden administration seems to try to, what we see, continue this one-size-fits-all policies across industries. This is especially true in transportation. You know as well as I do, that works for someone in a large city, but it's not going to work in Gulfport, Mississippi. You mentioned in your testimony you feel strongly about no federal mandates. How can the federal government serve as a partner in enhancing the transportation goals in our communities and without federal mandates?
Sure. We currently do not have a federal mandate. There are goals set by the administrations, and we have agreed with 50% emission reductions by 2030. We're on track to do that, utilizing the technologies that I talked about. So there currently is no mandate. Federal Transit Administration does support alternative technologies other than zero emission. If you look at the low-no grant system, which over $1 billion a year, the 5339C, it's called, there's a specific allocation in that dedicated to low-emission vehicles, and we take advantage of that. We currently have a $1.8 million grant that we received under that program to buy these 12 propane-fueled vehicles. And so to answer your question, what could FTA do going forward is to keep the regs like they are, allow us the flexibility to operate the buses that we need to meet our service needs in our environment in a cost-efficient manner and continue to allow other than zero-emission vehicles to be purchased with federal grants. We would appreciate that, and also more money into that system. There is a lot more money requested in all of those grants to purchase vehicles than is currently available. We're all struggling, and CTA is as well, with older fleets, trying to replace them, and there's just not enough federal money in those programs to keep our vehicles in a state of good repair.
Thank you very much, and thank you again, all of you, for providing us with input. Madam Chair, I yield back.